Think business advice is all the same? Think again. We're cutting through the noise and getting straight to the strategies that drive real results.
I love marketing, but marketing is not going to do literally everything in the company, and it's not a silver bullet.
People don't love this, but you really need to think about this when you have to invest consistently.
Welcome to Envisioning Success. Let's get into it.
Hi, welcome back to Envisioning Success. I'm Laura DiBenedetto, brought to you by Vision, and I'm joined with Julia Becker Collins. So Vision is the sponsor for this show. We've been at this for 25 awesome years.
Almost 26.
I know. And our second sponsor today is Nocturnal Manspreading, which is... We're going to talk about that in a minute. And so today it's going to be... What?
Okay. Today we're talking about how marketing isn't a silver bullet. And we're going to manage expectations. And fun fact, this is our 70th episode. So, snaps around the world.
Yay. So... we were just talking before we hit record about how this marketing stuff would be just, sometimes it's hell on earth if you don't have a sense of humor. But Julia and I have absolutely so much fun working together. And the whole idea of nocturnal manspreading and other stupid things, just really funny. So I'm going to tell you a few things just because we have fun here on this show. I'm looking at a business to acquire, and the owner looks like that the costume designer from The Incredibles, and you just can't.
It's as if the costume designer from The Incredibles also had a mullet, like had the haircut, but also the mullet.
Yes. So. And this person so far has been exceedingly difficult to work with. And I'm like, well, a lot of choices being made here. A lot of choices. Okay.
And I can't believe she lives her life every day like that.
I don't know, but I remember just showing you and being like, can you imagine someone wants to look like this on purpose?
Like, I wonder if it's a wig. That's what I want to know.
I don't know, man. So, yeah. Your hairstyle is actually a part of marketing, but we don't need to do an episode on that. So the thing about nocturnal manspreading, I was explaining that, we talk about random stuff here. We were talking about how we both have king size beds, and my husband, I love you, Amadeo. He likes to sleep like a starfish, where arms out, just full starfish mode, and so I don't ever feel lonely when I go to sleep. And apparently my darling Julia gets to experience the same thing.
Yes, my husband also loves to spread out like a starfish. And so I told Laura that I call that nocturnal manspreading. And now you too can use that as a joke, because there's no way that's not funny. That's hilarious.
There's no way it's not funny. And if it's not funny to you, your sense of humor is broken. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
So anyway, you learn lots of cool things on this show, not just marketing. Ta-da! Yeah. So, anywho, let's actually get to the meat and potatoes of the fun stuff that we need to educate you on. So, I'm going to kind of frame this up for us, and Julia, you can help me and jump in if I make an interesting point, which I may not. We'll see how it goes. Marketing, yeah, that's one of those things where people sometimes can have insane expectations. Over the years, I've actually discovered that there seems to be a weird correlation between the smaller the company, the bigger the expectations, the more unrealistic they are, which tells me that small companies who haven't figured out how to company yet are, not really figuring out how to do marketing yet. Great. Well, this episode is definitely going to be helpful to those folks. Now, there will be sometimes larger companies who haven't done any marketing. They have no idea what to expect at all. This can help with that. But then sometimes you'll see, and this will happen, you'll see very large companies being targeted by unscrupulous marketers, and they have no idea that they are being absolutely gouged on pricing, because turns out you don't actually have to overpay to get great results, but you can't underpay to get great results either. You just need to have the appropriate plan with the appropriate budget. And so this whole thing is all about expectations. So, Julia, I know for a fact, because you and I have been in these meetings for years, you've seen all this stuff. You remember it with the, wildly inappropriate expectations with the tiny clients. Sometimes the big clients were like, oh yeah, I can spend like $300,000 on that. Well, cool. You only need to spend $150. I mean, I'd love the gratuity, but keep it.
Yep.
It's just so wild. So, yeah, I'd love to see if we can help some folks with this.
I will say that we have a previous episode where we talk about not getting fooled by slick sales and buying the wrong marketing. We have a 4-episode arc where we talk about marketing myths. And then we have an episode specifically, I think it's in that arc, where we talk about just because somebody's really good at sales doesn't mean they're going to provide good marketing for you. And we talked about how to vet people. So go back and listen to that. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that was a really good series. I remember doing that with you. There was a lot of knowledge dropped there. So that would be really useful. Why don't you take us through the very first point that we've got here? Let's kick us off.
I'd be more than happy to, Laura. You know I love this topic because I have this conversation every day. I literally had this conversation 2 days ago with somebody. So fresh knowledge. Let's go. So the first of 5 actionable tips for today, dear listener, is to define marketing's role. This is a really great dovetail, my favorite corporate term ever, from the last episode where we talked about how sales and marketing interplay. Part of that and part of this is understanding what does marketing do and what marketing doesn't do. I love marketing. I eat, breathe, sleep marketing. We've been doing this for almost 26 years. Well, excuse me, Laura's been doing this for almost 26 years. I have been doing this with Vision for almost 9 years, and I've been doing it for over 20 years in general. And I love marketing, but marketing is not going to do literally everything in the company, and it's not a silver bullet. So understanding what it definitely does do, like create awareness, generates interest, builds trust, creates an understanding of who the brand is, who the brand isn't, who it serves, what they sell, etc., what to be excited about, the personalities, etc. But it doesn't guarantee immediate sales. We have had, or even I personally in the past year have had conversations with prospective clients where I've really had to educate them on this because yes, you need marketing. We said it in the last episode. We said it in this episode. We'll probably say it in every single episode. Marketing is very important, but marketing doesn't solve everything. And it definitely doesn't guarantee immediate sales. You need to also have sales, a sales force, a sales team, a salesperson, somebody answer the phones, something. But it also takes time. And that's really important to understand. And I know we're going to get more into that in the next actionable tip. But I feel like I could die on all of these hills.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm excited to talk about this next point. So the next point is all about setting realistic timelines. And I want to preface this by saying that people who've never done marketing before are always horrified by how long it takes to get the train moving.
Yes.
Because they really need it to work right away. I get that. But here's the thing that I really want to impress upon you. When you do really good marketing, you invest properly, the Goldilocks zone, not too little, but not too much, you're going to see results. You will not see them right away, but once they start working, they don't stop working. It will continue to fluctuate a little bit, but mostly trend upward over time because we know more. You know more. You give us data, we give you data. So the scary thing for people is the first year of doing marketing. Now, when I say the first year, someone is probably having a tiny little heart attack right now. Take your nitroglycerin, call your doctor. It's gonna be okay. But
Baby aspirin. Take a baby aspirin.
like you can actually see if you've never done marketing before and you're starting from zero. Yes, if you're doing a lot of just marketing, not inclusive of advertising, yes, it can actually take up to a year to really get up and running beautifully. Now, setting that realistic expectation. Now, when I'm in sales mode and I'm having sales conversations with our prospective clients, that is a very bitter pill to swallow. That goes down like shit. Okay. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants me to lie and be that slick salesperson that says, oh, yeah, you're going to see results in the first 6 weeks. Nobody who says that to you is telling you the truth. Quality marketing takes time. It takes depending on what's happening, it takes a minimum usually of 6 to 12 weeks to set up a good quality website. You need e-commerce, add another 4. You really, you want a comprehensive branding package. That's going to take time. You need the search engines to be primed to show your content. That takes a minimum of 6 months before Google is like, oh my God, they exist? Okay. You got to train the algorithms to show your content. So the thing about all of this is one word: momentum. Right? You have to be patient with the process, but understand that if you can get through the awkward first year, sometimes it is that long, you never have to go through that again. And what happens with a lot of people who are on the smaller side, they don't understand marketing, they don't necessarily understand how long it takes. They don't necessarily understand that they need to be prepared for cash outflow for about a year before it starts really consistently, predictably coming back and paying for itself. That when you go through that year and like you're in month 11 of it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's starting to work. You can't judge your program from that because it's just getting to where it needs to be. So for that reason, a lot of the times we work with our clients and the first contract that they have with us is for a 2-year term. That way we can get through over the hump and it's like, oh, that's what it's capable of. Okay, yes, because the setup is very important. So the realistic timelines, jagged little pill, nobody likes it. Absolutely true. Here's the other truth. If you have been doing marketing for a long time, it won't take that long. If you've been at it for a while, let's say you have some people internally and they've been doing a halfway decent job, it's not going to take that long. But for the people who've never done it, I know people who have multi-million-dollar businesses who have only done direct sales and they've never marketed. Guess what? You're going to have to go through that hell period. You have no choice. And for those of you listening who go to the gym or want to lose weight, I will tell you, you can't get past the suffering. You can't just be like, well, I want to be 50 pounds lighter. And then tomorrow you wake up 50 pounds lighter. No, you actually have to do the damn work. Oh, I want to be, bulk up and gain 20 pounds of muscle. Good for you. That's hard. You have to do the work. You can't just happen in one day. So realistic timelines is probably one of the more important points on here because people are scared of marketing. People are lied to by salespeople in marketing, which goes up my ass sideways. And it's my personal crusade to put a stop to that, or at least be the antidote. And you need to know what the truth is so you can plan for the truth. And then you know how to win so you can actually hang on, white knuckle, get through, and then start seeing all those yum-yums on the other side.
And just like the analogy you said about going to the gym, when people change their workout plans every 6 months, then obviously they're not seeing the results they want. So if you change your marketing all the time, You also won't see the results you want. I just had this conversation with somebody. They wanted to know why they weren't seeing results yet. I reminded them of the conversation of about 12 months, and they said, but we had been doing marketing. And I said, yes, but you were like a yo-yo dieter. And you would do Weight Watchers, and then you did the cabbage soup diet, and then you did the grapefruit diet, and then you did a juice cleanse. And it's so weird that your weight's going up and down like that because you're not sticking to anything. It's the same idea.
Consistency.
You need to think of it as a long-term investment.
Amen, sister. Thank you for adding that. That's great.
No problem.
What's number 3?
Number 3, this is another great dovetail from our last episode.
You love those.
To integrate marketing with sales, to show how marketing campaigns can warm up prospects. Again, I'm going to say very clearly, marketing campaigns make the prospects warm. They don't close them. And how sales can have the process be smoother and faster. When they work together, it is a better process for both rather than being oil and water. And that is true whether you are a one-woman shop and you're selling your soaps that you make in your bathroom, or if you are a very large corporation and you have broad departments. It is true across the board.
Absolutely. If you think about this, if you really think about this, think about how you have purchased things over the years. How did you first become aware of a company? Right? Marketing is probably how you first heard of any company, from your car dealership to the real estate agent you chose to buy your home, to the coffee you buy, or whatever. But then sales is a different process. And there's different processes for everything that's sold, from coffee at the grocery store to buying high ticket services from a company where there's like many meetings and proposals and this and that. There's everything in between. It's e-commerce. There's tons of different ways. But marketing needs to be integrated, to Julia's point, and they are not the same thing.
I will give you a perfect example of this as I sit here. I know we love a concrete example here on Envisioning Success. So I'm sitting at my desk. I went running today. If you didn't know, I'm a long distance runner. There's that joke. If you want to know if somebody's a runner, just wait. They'll tell you.
Same thing with vegans.
Yes. There's a lot of us that are bad about that out there. But yes, I'm a long distance runner. One of the things I have in my, bag of tricks is different headphones. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can see I'm holding up a very small case. It has 2 little earbuds in it. It is a Bluetooth set of earbuds for running, waterproof, whatever. There's a million different headphones on the market. How did I find these? Well, this company works with influencers on social media to do reviews and to talk about what works well. And I followed somebody who talked a lot about it. I reached out to her. I asked her some follow-up questions. She had a discount code. I bought it from them, and I've been incredibly happy. The marketing part is the influencer part. She took good photos. She gets money. She's marketing it. She has a commitment, etc. She has no responsibility over the sales side, but she is giving specific details of what to do. And that it's the sales side that is responsible for, do they have it in stock? Can you close that quickly? Where can the person buy it from? Is it fulfilled correctly? What about customer service if there's an issue? Is the person getting what they ordered, etc.? So even with a small product, literally small inches, product like this, there is a sales and a marketing component.
Amen. I love that so much.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're expensive, so more like picture of a mic drop. All those people also that actually drop microphones, I'm like, what are you doing? That's really high-tech expensive.
Oh. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so let me tell you about point number 4. People don't love this, but you really need to think about this when you have to invest consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing is a long-term, steady, consistent process. It actually really dovetails so nicely into what I was saying about setting realistic timelines, and the point that Julia just made about, like, you can't change your plan like every 6 months. You can't do that. You need to invest consistently. You need to stay the course. Doesn't mean you can't make little tweaks. We do those all the time. Literally, we do them every day. We get data, we modify it, but we don't change strategies. We refine strategies.
Correct.
And that's a big difference. I really want you to make sure that you understand from this is you should refine what you do as you go. Don't say, well, I haven't seen results in 2 months since I started it. I'm not happy with my agency, which I actually hear all the time from prospects who want to talk to me. They're like, can I talk to your agency? Not until we have a come to Jesus about your expectations. You probably shouldn't be firing your agency. You probably should just calm down. Like, as much as I'd love to work with an insane person that's going to drive my staff nuts, and I get people who ask me about this all the time. Sometimes people are irate because they're like, I hired this agency 2 months ago and they promised me results and I haven't gotten them yet. It's like, okay, well, first of all, they lied to you during the sales process. That's why you're mad now. That's what it took to get you under contract, because if they had told you the truth, you probably wouldn't have signed. And then you would have gone to somebody like me who does tell you the truth and who would tell you that's going to take a bit and you have to be patient, and you probably wouldn't have signed with anybody. You went with a liar because they told you what you wanted to hear.
I actually put something up on LinkedIn today all about this. Got a question in a sales meeting about how to become the #1 search result on Google. And I said, anybody who tells you they can do that, organic, to be clear, organic search result. Anybody says they can do that with every search that is possible is lying to you.
Yep.
And if they did say that to you, run in the other direction. And I have I'll make sure our producer includes it in the notes for this episode, because as with all of our episodes, we're dropping truth bombs and knowledge, as Laura likes to say. Both of us on LinkedIn do the same. Lots of free information. So you're welcome to follow me there. But I will make sure that's included in the notes for today as well.
Cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So what is number 5?
Number 5, near and dear to my heart, metrics. We love objective data here at Vision Advertising. Focus on meaningful metrics like lead quality, like are your leads of a good quality, or are you getting leads from tire kickers, people who aren't your ideal client, people with unrealistic expectations, people who want services or products that you don't provide, etc. What is your conversion rate? Conversion rate is a really important metric. This is another one where you can very easily set up this metric in your Google Analytics to see what's happening. Google Analytics, totally free tool that you can install on your website, and you can set up what you deem to be a conversion. A conversion is an action that somebody takes on your website, and you have to decide what constitutes a conversion for you. If you are selling products, it could be the purchase. If you are selling services, it could be the contact us form. But what is the conversion rate of somebody visiting your website and then doing a specific action? And finally, what is the customer lifetime value, rather than thinking about vanity metrics like likes or impressions? In a previous episode, we talked a lot about vanity metrics, and I told a very funny story, if I do say so myself, about TikTok and somebody saying you could go viral on TikTok just by going live.
Oh, that was a good one.
It was a good story. I'm pretty proud of that one. Those things don't matter that much. Yes, likes are great for engagement. Engagement helps drive engagement. Engagement will help you drive sales. But on their own, they don't do anything other than click the red heart. You need to know if you're reaching the right people and if those people are converting.
Yep.
And I would also add to this, what is the profit you are making? on that sale? How much did you spend on customer acquisition to get them through the pipeline? Is it a high profit? Is it a low profit? Do you need to look at your pricing structure, etc.? Objective data is your best friend.
Yeah, your acquisition costs really need to be valued. So, I've said in several episodes now that I'm looking for companies to buy. So if you have a company to sell, please contact me, including marketing company. I'm very interested. But one of the things that I look for is, what are your acquisition costs? How much does it cost you to make a sale?
Yep.
And if you're doing marketing and advertising, there is a cost.
Mhm.
Oh, and if you're not doing marketing and advertising, there's also a cost, but of a different kind. It's called opportunity cost. But
Correct.
you really want to know these things, and you can actually. This is where I think I like to focus on refinement. Can you improve your acquisition cost and edge it down little by little? Can you increase your profits? Can you increase your customer lifetime value? Lead quality. Can you increase time on page?
Mhm.
These are important things. Even things like bounce rate, don't worry about that one.
Oh my God.
He who shall not be named.
I have PTSD from a client who is obsessed with bounce rate, which somebody who all they do is deal with cost per click and paid digital advertising, who used to work at Google, told me that bounce rate is the least helpful metric in any kind of marketing metric.
Yep. Well, anyway, lots of knowledge being dropped here. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to bid you adieu. I'd like to thank you so much for being with us in this episode. We really love doing these for you. Please go to our website, vision-advertising.com. Please let us know what you think. And if you ever need help with your marketing, we hope you'll give us a call. We'd love to help you. We don't do high pressure sales or any of the awful stuff. And if we're not for you, we'll tell you. Our rates are reasonable for the right people, and we love helping people. So if you'd like to make a change, we'll hope you'll reach out. We'll always take good care of you. The next episode is going to be about sales tactics and some of the worst ones out there, what not to do when marketing sends you a lead. And if you're a sales and marketing department of one, cool, this will be an easy episode for you. If you're working with multiple humans, maybe have them listen too. So we'll see you in the next episode.